Hart here. I just want to let you know that the Pulsechain.com mainnet has launched, and PulseX.com on that mainnet has launched as well. I hope you guys are all enjoying it. We waited a couple years for this, and it's finally here.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another daily live show, of course, covering Pulsechain and Hex and all the projects that are rolling out. I love that Richard Hart welcoming and opening, of course, to Pulsechain, so I like to play it every now and then. It's a bit of fun. It's always good to see Richard on screen as well, and of course, the charismatic founder of Pulsechain and Hex and PulseX. Pretty amazing. So I hope you guys are doing well out there. What day is it? It is Saturday, so the weekend is upon us, if you're down under at least. It is currently 11:30 a.m., 23rd of September. We're in the future, of course, here down in New Zealand. And what else are we going to say about that? In Los Angeles, it's currently Sunday still, and it's 4:30 in the afternoon. New York at the moment is 7:30 in the evening. And, of course, Tokyo is on Saturday. It's Tokyo, but it is 8:30 in the morning in Tokyo. In London, of course, is it's actually Sunday as well. Monday. Oh, what day is it? Saturday as well. And it is currently, but it's just turned Saturday. It is currently 12:30 a.m. in the morning. So brand spanking new. If you're up in the UK, you are up. You're getting up late, aren't you? You're up late. But that's just the way it goes. So big welcome to everybody from around the world. Let us know in the chat where you are from. And you don't have to say the street name, but just I guess the country or the state or the city, something like that. Up to you what you want to do there, but let us know in the chat. Let's see who else has arrived. What else? Let's go to the comment section. Let me just reschedule my studio here. Who has jumped in the chat here? We got Sandy Beaches in nice and early. That's about 2 days in a row, Sandy. Always a pleasure. Sandy absolutely crushing it on X, of course, with the health and fitness. And a big shout out to Sandy. If you're not following Sandy, definitely give Sandy a follow. I don't know if you've done a tweet for today, Sandy, but feel free to post that in the chat there. We got Tin Top as well. What's up, Mexicans? Good to see Tin Top. We got Archie as well. Archie looking good. Hey, Archie, I don't know if there's any update around a PulsePot, but Archie was posting something around that is coming up. It's going to be an update around BNB Pot and PulsePot coming up. So, yeah, maybe Archie's going to post that later on in the Discord. If you haven't joined the Discord, hit the link in the video description and you'll be able to join the Discord there and join the rest of us. What else there? We've got Blair as well. Hi, all good to see you, Blair. Welcome to the chat. And let's see, what else there? It's America. Yeah, Sandy's in America. Sandy's in America. We got Dan Smith as well. Late one here in the UK, says Dan. Yeah, 12:30. Up a bit late there, but that's all right. Was it 1 o'clock? I guess it's the cutoff time for late and late, something like that. We got Blair says from Melbourne, Victoria. Big shout out, Blair. And Archie's just given out 5 Hex Token memberships there. Look at that. That's just popped up there. Who's got those? So look there. We've got Archie's given out. Brennan's got one. Bookie's got one. Charity's got one. Hex Expedition got one, and of course Genuine's got one there too. Was it 2 out of 5 there were moderators, so that's pretty funny. Well done to you guys. What else there? We got Butch in the house there. Happy weekend, legends. Lovely day here in Brisbane. A thumbs up, Superman. Hey, Butch, have a great day. Man, Brisbane is such a cool city, and of course it's kind of very tropical. I remember just having a great experience there, and I wasn't actually there that long, so. Yeah, I wish I could go back. It's just such a great city. We've got Hex Siren in house there. Hello, family. Good to see Hex Siren. Welcome to the chat. And who else is here? Never fear. We got Sandy is there answering everybody. Great, Sandy. Love it. All right. Should we move on? Should we get into some of the news? Now, we're going to start a little bit different today. We're going to get into a bit about freedom here. So let's bring that up because obviously we support freedom. That's one of our principles. So let's bring that in. Bam. And let me see, where am I going here? We're going to reschedule. Bam. There we go. Put me in the background and bring up the school there. So this guy here, you guys know this guy. The political attacks have started. So this is complete nonsense. And of course, the political attacks have already attacked. So they're attacking the biggest independent media already. And of course, I sort of mentioned this briefly yesterday. The regime is looking to close the circle of their takeover. So, like I said, the next election next year for the US is the last one. It really is the last one. If that is lost and the regime takes it over, you're talking about a global, at least the West, to be globally controlled. So there will be, whether you agree with it or not, with the ideology, you will be stuck in it, whether you like it or not. Whether you wake up later on and realize that the whole regime's running the show, we're upside down, we're in an upside down world. That is the play. And so what they're doing now is they're getting rid of the big independent thinkers, which are challenging the establishment. And this guy here is no exception. Hasn't even gone through courts or anything like that. That has made the usual takedown allegations. And they could have done this 10 years ago if they thought it was valid. And so here we are with the media had conspired. And of course, the so-called mainstream media and took this, taking this guy down, trying to, in any case, and then the government got involved, writing to tech companies to take him down, demonetize them, etc. So the play is on. The play is on, and this is just one of the opening salvos that we're going to see leading into next year for anybody that stands for freedom, independent, critical thinking, and the opposition. Right. So it's going to be pretty big, going to get pretty aggressive over the next wee while, and yeah. So this is on Rumble, so you can follow on Rumble. Now, what I was going to say is I've got links to Hex Token channel on Rumble as well. The links in the video description. So definitely join up on Rumble if you haven't joined Hex Token. So we're going to go in there as well. Now, you can follow this guy on Rumble as well. But of course, if you want to follow Hex Token, that is Hex Token there on Rumble. The link's in the video description. And you can see all the videos there as well. They're all backed up from YouTube onto Rumble. So definitely do that. This platform is not very good. It is rigged as well. And of course, so it's definitely nice to have the backups there. The other one that's a good backup as well that you can join is Odyssey. This is an on-chain on-chain video site as well. And obviously all the videos here on YouTube are all backed up on there. So it's really cool. So if you want to follow on Odyssey, you're on Odyssey. You can do that too, and you can see all the videos have been uploaded there as well, and the members are slowly trickling up there as well. So that is some of the stuff that I just wanted to touch on that before we get into the crypto stuff. But freedom is a big part of what we're about, and of course we're going to be under the biggest assault you've ever seen leading up to next year's election. And if it's lost next year, you can say goodbye. You can say goodbye. There's going to be no one else left to stand. You'll have opposition people still saying stuff, but the system itself will be closed. It will be pretty much sealed. The deal is sealed. You'll be seeing a lot of controls come into place after the next election if they win. And that includes global IDs, everything else you can possibly think of is all being set up. Those agreements are being made right now. If you want to go and look for them, they're being made right now in Europe and places. To lock that all up. UN is doing it, all that sort of stuff. WF, it's all on play. You can go see it for yourself. Just go and have a look. All right, so there we are. That is some of the stuff that you can join. Now we're going to quickly look at the stock market at the moment. So the stock market there, Dow Jones is down 0.3%. We're just below 34,000 there. We've got the S&P 500 as well, is down 0.2%. It's at 4,300. The NASDAQ there at the moment is pretty much flat. And of course, that is at 13,200. So that's actually was down quite a bit there. The VIX has pulled off. So the volatility index, the VIX there, S&P 500 has pulled off 2%. Remember, that was up like 15% yesterday. Pretty aggressive. The dollar is still holding up there at 105 on the index. So that's the dollar's strength versus the trading partner still looking fairly strong. And let's have a look at the commodities. The big issue that we've had lately, of course, is crude oil, West Texas, and Brent oil. And many of you have said that you've felt it at the pump already. That will also depend on you. If you're not in the United States, also depend on your exchange rate as well. And that will reflect your country's economic health also. And at the moment, we've got West Texas at $90 and Brent oil around $8.94 there. And that's up about 0.5%, almost 0.8% on West Texas. Now, the big thing around that, of course, is that the Saudis and the Russians have reduced the output by 1.3 million barrels a day. That makes a significant play. And of course, OPEC also with its restrictions. So that's a big deal. And of course, it's making the United States a laughing stock. And of course, the United States is just doing every single policy to attack their own production. You remember under the previous administration, this was the opposite situation where you couldn't get drive these prices like that. So it just shows you, it goes to show you the people that are trying to get complete control are complete idiots, and they've only got power as their only goal, right? Power's the only goal. They don't care if they burn down a lot of stuff and that people pay the price, right? So and the people that support them, they're going to get what they voted for, right? So, and if they were going to stay ignorant, they can stay ignorant. All right, so gold is $944. Silver there is $23.80 at the moment, and they're pretty much just moving sideways in the old gold and silver. So some of the news that we've had since the Federal Reserve meeting earlier this week, Fed officials lean into higher rates for longer stance. So we're actually starting to get a bit more comments about higher rates, and that's not great. This would be for me. It's just a typical example of the Federal Reserve always overshooting the mark. Treasury yields take breather but remain at multi-year highs. U.S. Federal Reserve officials said further rate hikes could be required as inflation remains too hot for comfort. So that's actually got a bit stronger, that narrative. Federal Governor Michelle Bowman said Friday it will likely be appropriate. What are these guys talking about? What are they on? They're smoking the old lettuce, something like that. I don't know. To not only lift rates higher, but also hold them at restrictive levels for some time to break back the central bank's 2%. It's going to be crazy, dude. That's a lot of pain. That's a lot of pain going to come up. I don't know about the soft landing. It's going to become more challenging for sure for the soft landing. Boston Fed President Susan Collins, meanwhile, also said the additional rate hikes are not off the table. Well, they currently, of course, we saw the SEP forecast indicating maybe we get to 5.6%, right, in the midpoint, which means we get to 5.5 to 5.75 on the federal funds rate. So are these guys talking about pushing past that forecast? It's definitely possible, but man, it'd be idiotic. It really would be idiotic. We're already seeing some really serious issues starting to happen in the property market now. So this would be, this is going to make it a harder landing and more pain for people as they trade interest rates for employment. Treasury yields gave up some gains, but remained at multi-year highs following huge swings higher earlier this week. The Fed skipped a rate hike on Wednesday, but reduced the number of rate cuts to 2 from 4 next year, suggesting rates will remain higher for even longer than many had expected. And of course, that target in the SEP forecast is 5.1%. So we're at 5.5 at the moment. Are we going to get to 5.75? Will that be the terminal rate? And then next year, will we get back down to 5.1? We'll see how we get on with that. But the 5.1 is not great, folks. It's still a pretty high rate. So yeah, it's wish us luck. Fingers crossed on that one. The other thing, just to make this more complicated, everybody, is that at the moment we've got a potential shutdown in the US government on play. I think there's about a week to go for that. So next week we could see that narrative all over the headlines as that comes closer to fruition. And of course, that would result in something like 800,000 people off work if they can't get a budget sealed for that. So typically they've been extending that under a lot of political pressure, but there are some valid reasons for delaying that because there's political gains being made and some bad outcomes being pushed, particularly from one side. So we'll see how that ends up next week. So here we are, we're getting some of these potential triggers that we don't want to see because we've seen a good rally in the stock market. And of course, if we get a serious correction from these initiatives, higher interest rates, potential lockdown, or a actual lockdown, which would be even worse. And who knows what other reports start coming out, right? They start putting more fuel on the fire, particularly the media. They start bringing more stories, more narratives, maybe around property or whatever. And then, of course, it makes a big bonfire. So we'll see. This things can escalate pretty fast. And so far, these are some of the seeds that may cause that. So fingers crossed that stuff is dampened down. Maybe someone throws a bit of water on it and we damp that down. So next week's going to be pretty interesting. Could be volatile. So it's good to keep abreast of that. Anyway, that is pretty much that on the stock market. Remember, we don't have another Federal Reserve meeting until 5 weeks and 4 days away. So we've got a bit of a room there for move. Particularly, that might play well into crypto, right? Particularly as the next meeting is the 1st November for the federal rate hike and review. And of course, we're currently expecting, the market is expecting only 20%, 7% is expecting a rate hike to 5.75. So the market's not quite a believer yet, despite some of those comments from some of those governors in the Federal Reserve to 27%. That has actually dropped because that used to be up about 32, 33%. So fingers crossed, folks. Obviously, we're thinking about crypto and we want the bags to pump, right? So this is why it's so important to keep track of these variables that may influence the crypto market. So that's kind of where we are at the moment. The cool thing about this is if we get positive news out of crypto, and let's talk about crypto now. If we get positive news out of Bitcoin and Ethereum, particularly with Ethereum, with ETF in October, that's that window of opportunity, right? So we haven't got a Fed meeting till the 1st of November. In October, we get a nice little uplift for Ethereum, maybe around the ETF. That'd be really cool. So fingers crossed for that. That comes out. That's probably, I don't know what percentage to put on that, but that's definitely something we could look forward to. Maybe we also start to get that halvening uplift from BTC in late October as well. Maybe mid-October we'll see as we get that sort of 6-month run up. We might see that too. And then maybe news around Proto Dank sharding may be positive as well, particularly for second layers, right? Might make that big a deal, I don't think, for Ethereum, but for the second layers, that may help a lot. So that's kind of the news there we're expecting. We've got BTC at the moment, 26,625, holding up okay, actually, green across the board, and Ethereum at 1,596, almost $1,600, up 0.7%. So it's not too bad either. BNB at the moment is up 0.3% there. You can see at $211. XRP there at the moment up 1.3% at 51 cents. That's not too bad either. Solana down a little bit there, ADA down a little bit, Litecoin down a little bit there. What else is looking pretty good? I think Matic's looking okay. That's up 0.3%, 52 cents. SHIB there is up 0.7%. So there's a few little, it's just sort of moving sideways, holding its own at the moment. We certainly, for BTC, we haven't broken down yet, but let's have a look at that on the charts. This is Bitcoin on Coinbase, and you can see that we've been looking to see whether we're going to get a death cross, right? And we are so close to a death cross. We're at 27,000 on the 50-day EMA. Now, what death cross is where the short-term EMA, the 50-day one, crosses below the 200 EMA, which is a kind of an average, and it is pushing us down. So at the moment, we're just above it. Like 27,000 is the 50-day, 26,982 is the 200-day. So we're just teetering there. I think it's kind of looking inevitable that we will cross down, especially if we get more red candles like this one. At the moment, we've got sort of indecision candle here on the old Bitcoin day there. And of course, we've got how many? 12 minutes to go before this finishes, this daily candle. So yeah, I haven't seen actually in recent times see one where we actually came down and didn't cross and move back up. But as I've said in other days, it may be short-lived, right? We may have a short-lived, maybe a bit of a fake out, and we have seen fake outs in the past on these charts, right? So this one here was a fake out, right? We came below, we had the death cross here, we came below, but then we popped back up for that second double top, the Judas candle, as Richard Hart talks about. Then we had this death cross. This one was a serious death cross, right? We definitely came down and broke right down. So death crosses can fake out or do that as well. We had another fake out over here. We had a couple of fake outs over here with the death cross, but this one here was actually kind of quite serious, even though it was a bit of a fake out that actually was pretty violent. So you could argue that's kind of more of an exception, but this one here was definitely a fake out there. So a bit of a mixed bag, trying to give it the idea, but generally death crosses aren't great. So generally they're not great because they're all going below, right? And at least if it's not a big dip, it's a small dip. So it depends on what you're doing, if you're trading or not. So there we are at the moment. And of course, we've still got a lot of this angular support. We've got this angular support down here. You can see long-term. This is the daily chart, by the way. We've got this long angular support here. We've got a death cross, though. Generally, that's going to mean we're probably going to drift down. We do have support here at 24,800. That's the big key, right? This line here. We've dropped below that, and down we go. So fingers crossed. But like I say, we have got fundamental news that may be lifting us up. Maybe the Ethereum ETF. Maybe the market sort of starts to rally in October, leading up into the halvening next year, and that's kind of 6 months out. So we have got a few things that may start to keep the chart up there on the old Bitcoin. So that's pretty much it for Bitcoin. So we've covered the stock market and the Federal Reserve. We've covered the crypto market generally. Let's move into Pulsechain. Before we do that, though, let's catch up on the chat there and welcome a few people in before we get into the Pulsechain stuff and start exploring Pulsechain and Hex price charts. Let's see who else is in here. go all the way back up here. We definitely got up to that. We got up to Butch, I think. No, we didn't. Did we? Happy weekend, legends. Lovely day here in Brisbane. Thumbs up, Suit Mania. I think we got up to there. So good to see Butch in the house. Let me jump through there. We got Dan Smith says, yeah, he hasn't even been questioned by police yet or in a court case. This is how ridiculous it is. It's just a hit job, dude. They could have done it 10 years ago if that was a valid situation. And the government have tried to have him cancelled. This typical fascist in our administration, yeah. But I think it's far more profound. I think it's far more profound. It is the beginning before next year's elections. And like I said, if we lose next year's elections, it's done. We're done. We're in the system. We're going to be stuck in the system. And we're going to have all these terrible things, inevitably happen. So it took rounds IDs and things. So it's going to be pretty bad. Hey, Fat Sammy, good to see you. Hey, all, good to see you. We got Brian in the house as well, our community leader. Good to see you, Brian. Big shout out. Who else is in? Hexcavator as well. Hey, again, good to see Hexcavator. Welcome to the chat there. Fat Sammy's got the woohoos in the house. That's kind of our channel anthem. So good to see Fat Sammy here. Who else? We got Humberto. Yo, cheers, Suitman and R8 family. Tonight back in sunny Miami. Good to see Humberto. Welcome. And Anita as well. Hey, hi gang. Good to see Anita. Welcome as always. Blobfish King in the house with the emojis. You smashed those out really nice there, Blobfish King. I wish the studio could actually render them properly. They just render the text words, but you can actually see them on the live stream there. They're not great for the YouTube, but they're in the chat there. We've got Christian in the house as well. What's good, familiar? Good to see you, Christian. Welcome to the chat. Joey Torres has managed to make it as well. Hi, all. Good to see you. And a big welcome. Let's get back into it. Pulsechain, Pulse Gains, and bam, let's go. All right, so Pulsechain, we got some little green letters here after 2 days of down. We had 2 days up, which were really great days. We had double-digit days, and then we got 2 days down where we had slightly down, and today we got slightly up on the green. So that's kind of good. We got Pulsechain at the moment at quadruple 0447, 45x. So we make that a little bit bigger. Yeah, let's make it a little bit bigger. 45% of the sacrifice price, which it's obviously down from the sacrifice price, but this looking a bit better. We got Pulse X at the moment, quadruple 0117. That is just still under 12% of the sacrifice price. This is the mean price that people got. It's about half the price of the whales, of what the whales got. So pretty cool. One Pulse at the moment will get you 3.81 Pulse X. So Pulse still relatively strong versus Pulse X there. And of course, Pulse X there up 3.6%. But of course, the number I really like to see is the buy and burn. And this is superior tokenomics that Pulsechain and Pulse X and that have compared to other chains. So this is going to be very important as time goes on. And of course, particularly around in the bull market. So it's going to be good. 445.2 billion Pulse X is now burnt out of the public supply. And of course, we exclude the origin account as though it's an active supply. So we just really don't care about that. So really 445 billion is a 2.15% of the public supply, which based on GoPulse estimates is 21 trillion here. So good news. So I'm not quite sure where they got the number from because I have it much lower than that number, but that's what the number we've got. So we'll use it in the absence of that. So we got incentive as well. The incentive token at the moment at $1.18, and actually incentive's doing pretty well the last couple of days. 26,574 is the ratio. Not bad as well. And actually it's the best performance so far out of all these coins, 3.693% there. So not bad as well. Well over 11 million tokens in existence, and 89,000 has been burned through the TRH protocol there from Jacob. So pretty cool. PHEX there looking better, but PHEX actually struggling to perform versus Pulse and PulseX. It's, the percentages have been a bit on the weaker side lately, which is not normally. We're often seen it lead in the yield. So it's been a pretty interesting move there. At the moment, we got the price of Hex at a 81 tenth or 82 tenths of a cent. We got EHEX there at 3400th of a penny, and the combined price of EHEX and PX is at 1.16 cents. So we've been floating around this mark between say 1.3 cents and 1.1 cents lately. That's kind of where we are. We are at 1.27%, which is a pretty low up day, but we'll see whether it can gain some momentum. There at the moment, one PHEX will get you 183 pulse, and one PHEX will get you 2.42 EHEX at the moment. Those are sort of the numbers there for that. So let's quickly look at the charts as well. Actually, I didn't even bring the charts up. I've been pretty lazy. What happened there? I'm not sure. I thought I'd pull out the chart. I always have the charts up. That's pretty lame. Pretty lame on my part. All right, where is the Pulse one? Let's have a look at the Pulse one there. They're not in the normal order that I have them in. So let's open that up. We've got Pulsex as well. Let's open that up. And actually, that's the wrong one too. This is what happens when you don't open them up in the right order. We'll open, that's the wrong order too. Working that one up there. Let's open that one up, and we're going to open that one up. And where's the Hex one? Where's the Hex? It's down here somewhere. Hex Pulse. We'll open that one up, and EHEX Pulse. That's the one I'm after. That one there. All right, those are the ones we want. For some reason, I thought I had opened them all up. So let's have a quick look. And that's the chart on Pulse at the moment. So it's actually looking not too bad, is it? I think that's looking pretty good. Obviously, we want to get some fairly reasonable news leading into October. We've got all our big protocols starting to launch. It looks like the Liquid Loans is getting much closer. That's pretty cool, and adding more features. So Liquid Loans coming, all our big protocols, that's what we're looking for. And the Fitch Oracle is pretty key there. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We've got so many big protocols launching. It's going to be very busy in here, folks. We really are in another quiet spot at the moment between all these big protocols launching, so that's bullish. We've got quadruple 4474. And that's sort of slowly inching up nicely, actually, if you think about it, with these bigger protocols coming, and we're kind of inching up slowly. That's kind of good news. So looking pretty good. We still want to get over this 5,000 mark here, this yellow line here. That's kind of our target. I'll just extend that out there, but that's kind of our target we want to get over. And we're kind of moving up nicely towards that, which is pretty cool. And this candle's about to finish in 5 minutes, so we'll be looking for that. And we've got plenty of room in the RSI. Look at that. Plenty of room from the RSI to move up and conquer that 5,000. So I think looking good in terms of moving up into some new critical support range there, and also retracing from the SEC event, and we're heading into that 8 week period, which is kind of cool. That's kind of the period that I like in terms of doing that. So looking good. What are we on? Day 53. Day 53 since the Black Swan event for the SEC, and we're starting to get some sort of recovery, which is pretty nice on that, which is coming up. What are we, 7.5 weeks, something like that, coming up into the 8 week marks, which I think is pretty good. Good that we've got all the big protocols given this breather and launching later on. So I think it's everything timing is working out pretty cool after the Black Swan event there. So not bad at all. Let's jump over to Pulsex. Pulsex here moving up nicely too, and having some relatively stronger moves lately. Last couple of days, which has been encouraging for Pulsex. And as you guys know, I continue to think that we will, have a relatively big snapback for Pulsex. Now, we're assuming, of course, we don't get any capitulation of Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin breaking 24,800. So we're assuming we don't get that capitulation. If we do, then break that 24,800, then we're in a bearish scenario here on the charts, right? That we could easily be pulled down. Now, will Pulsechain defy that? It may do. It's possible if there's enough excitement about all the big protocols and they launch at the right time. That's impossible. At least it is possible to hold us back from falling maybe worse than we would have. So that's definitely in the case here. But that's to be proven, right? So we'll see. All right. So that is the incentive token there. We're still got to get over this 1300 here at the moment. We haven't done that yet. So we've got 2 resistances there. But we're at the top of the Bollinger Bands, looking pretty good. All right, incentive token there as well has been performing pretty well. So we're up $1.19 at the moment. So that's a nice little rise there in the incentive token. That's been pretty good. Let's have a look at, let me try that one more time. I missed the bottom. I don't know, there's the bottom. Let's go. So we're up about 26%, 27% on the incentive token price there at $1.19. Let's have a look at the ratio, which is even more important, right? Look at that. That's really cool. 1, 2, 3, 4 green days. We've had in the incentive token ratio to Pulse, we're at 26,600. We got down as low as 25,300. So it's nice to be up on that ratio, which is pretty cool. What's that in percentage terms? Percentage terms, that's about 5.3%. So it's a little move in terms of crypto, but a nice, pretty solid little trend there. Because the last time we had anything like this was back here in July. So that's kind of cool there. It's not as aggressive, but it's still a much better outcome there. Remember the farms, the Pulsex farms continuing to mint more and more incentive tokens. So there we are. All right, let's go to the PHEX chart. and have a quick look at that. PRX chart looking much better, although we have slowed down here on the consolidate. Oh, Brian's just given out 5 Hex Token memberships. If you haven't got a membership, definitely pick up one of those. We had Archie give out 5. Now Brian. So Butch picked up 1. Christian picked up 1. Big Bully picked up 1. X mostly picked up 1. And Bob Farter picked up 1 too. So congratulations to all of you 5. And a big shout out and thank you to both Brian and, of course, Archie as well. So a big shout out there as well. Looking good. All right. So that is the chart there on PHEX at the moment. So kind of consolidating here in the top of the Bollinger Bands. Not too bad. Let's have a look at the RSI. Right in the middle at 50%. So a little bit of indecision there, but plenty of room to move higher if should we get some good news and momentum and get a nice strong breakout. Typically, if we're going to, I guess, consolidate here, we've probably got a good chance of breaking out quite stronger there too. And maybe with some of these big protocols launching, maybe that will be the catalyst we will see. All right, that's PHEX. EHEX, of course, is the weaker cousin at the moment. And, of course, this is more bonded to USDC and ETH on the Ethereum side. And that's definitely the weaker cousin at the moment, but maybe that will have a rebound in the future relatively. And we might get some of that conversion. Conversion? That's not what I'm trying to say. Convergence in the future. So that is pretty much it on those Richard Hart, Golden, Pulsechain, and X prices. Let's have a quick look at the validators as well. We have got 43,195 validators, which is pretty much, I think, at an all-time high. So congratulations to everybody. Pulsechain really is the people's chain. And you can see all the validators around the world. Look at that. Beautiful. I love looking at spinning this thing. That's pretty cool as well. We've got 1.38 trillion of Pulse is now stuck with the validators, and that cannot be sold on the market. And, of course, we're probably going to have liquid loans boost that too. So really, really exciting to see that. And, of course, we have EIP 1559 burning going on all the time. It's not included in that too. So really starting to eat the way through the Pulse coin as well. I mean, it's going to get rarer and rarer and rarer, which is what we like to see. The gas prices, of course, have been elevated. Look at what we had earlier today. Look at this. It's even off the charts. It doesn't even show on this chart here, and I can't move the chart around. But we'll look at these beats. We're up at like 8 million beats here or higher earlier today. So that would have made the chain very expensive. We're currently at 1.4 million, which is definitely more expensive than it was. We're heading into the weekend here. I'll be interested to see whether we actually go below 1 million on the beats here over the weekend. We'll have a look at that tomorrow when we check in on it. We're currently 178 times cheaper than Ethereum. And Ethereum at the moment, a Pulse swap on Uniswap, I guess it is. They're $3.30 at the moment over on there, 178 times cheaper. But we're 730 times cheaper than Bitcoin. Bitcoin is so expensive and so slow. It really is horrible. EVM chains are much better, right? They're much better. These ones are crazy on the old Bitcoin. Anyway, we're at 1.4 million beats. So obviously you're going to get cheaper transactions at the moment. But man, we had some big spike in there. Look at that. The chain is getting busier, and we got more people on the chain. So probably no surprises there. Let's go to GoPulse and have a look at the. We've got the chart there. It doesn't have got the chart on the bottom there. I thought that. Let's go to scan. Let's go to scan and have a look at that. Scan here. We can see these. Look at how we've had elevated transactions here. Look why we're all the way down here at like 300,000 transactions a day back in like late August, early September. And as soon as we hit like the 5th of September on the 6th, we started really rallying, and we've had a lot of transactions since then. We've got more protocols on the Pulse chain, a lot of more actors or agents on the Pulse chain as well. So yeah, definitely look at that 578,000 on the 22nd there. So looking really good. And of course, some of them are bidding up those gas prices as well, which is pretty crazy. So that is pretty much it on those. Let's have a look at some of the other categories on the Pulse chain as we're looking at price discovery. Before we do that, though, let's catch up in the chat there and see who else has jumped in here as well. Let me scroll back up here. We got up to Christian, that's for sure. Valiant says, I'm so embarrassed by our government here in the US. Sorry, folks, they're all letting us down. Indeed, they are. But it's a part of their plan to let you down. So they're not too worried about that. It's all about them getting the power right now. Sandy Beach says, DCA for the win, 100%. Brian says, darkest before the light, says Brian. I like that. What else there? We got Lights Beneath. Says Hex, EHEX, PLSX, and Center for the win, 100% Lights Beneath. Great to have you in the chat there. And of course, always dropping the alpha in the chat there around the best strategy. We've got Spike in the house as well. What's up, peeps? Good to see you, Spike. Welcome as well. And I think that's where we're up to. Yeah, so there we are. Let's go back into it. Bam. And it's pretty fast. I just float over to the left hand. Was it the left hand side or right hand side? I don't know. It's pretty funny. All right, so let's have a look at the performance. We've had some dramatic stuff happen with the top PUSD 20s overnight. Absolutely dramatic stuff. Let's go by liquidity though. I think that's a fair thing to do. PDI is down 14%. This has been the sort of the darling, hasn't it? Well, Pulse and Pulsechain tonight have all been down. PDI has been one of the stars of the show, but it got down pretty aggressive yesterday. We're looking at Fibonacci here. See the Fibonacci. This gives us an idea of where it might pull back to, but it actually went down to the very bottom, which is what I had on the line here, 9,000. I see it about 3 days ago or something like that when we were looking at this. I can't remember how many days ago it was, but we were looking at this Fibonacci. I talked about the worst case scenario was getting down to 9,000, and we looked like back on this day on the 20th we were going to hit the 61.8. But we actually hit the 78.6 pullback, which I did talk about, but that was kind of the outsider, if you believed on more aggressive stuff. So we hit that yesterday. So that was crazy. We hit that yesterday, and we've got a brand new candle. This is a brand new candle. So that's the candle we just closed a couple of months ago. And look, we got all the way down to the 78.6 Fibonacci at 9,000, which was definitely in the game. We did talk about it, but yeah, you're normally hoping for 61.8, which is normally where the market will go. We did have a fairly aggressive rise in the market, so it's probably not surprising, but definitely, yeah, we did hit that bottom mark there, and we're back up at the 61.8. How funny is that? We're back up at the 61.8, and we're at 1,337. So what we're finding is with a lot of these charts, particularly as Pulsechain is relatively new, is that we're getting instead of just going to 61 like you do in probably more mature charts, we're getting a lot of 78.6 pullbacks or more because of the new chain and of course these tokens, I should say. So at the moment we're at 1,300. We're sitting on 61.8. So the lesson to be learned is that you should always rely at least on the 78.6 on a Fibonacci with a lot of these charts here. And there we are. So obviously people talking about getting to 1 cent was the next target. That's making it a lot harder at the moment. Of course, this is still up. It's still bounced off here. So if it bounces off here and it managed to hold that, if it doesn't sleep them down, then the 1 cent is still in play. The 1 cent is still in play. So we'll be watching out for that. But it had a pretty weak move up to 2,200 of a penny, up to 2,900 of a penny. Not really a strong power move. Maybe the next move is going to be more stronger if we get something like this. So that's probably what we're looking for. But we're looking for that in here somewhere. So we'll see whether it happens. It's certainly fun to watch and see whether it can actually move itself higher there. Certainly still in the game based on this chart, despite hitting the 78.6. All right. What else have we got? Teddy Bear is up 3%. Wrap Bitcoin, which has also been a star performer, that is currently down 31% at the moment. Yeah, quite a bit of a down day we just had yesterday. We're at $101 for Wrap Bitcoin, and we got up to 213. So we're down quite a bit from that, but still looking okay. But I have a feeling that we're probably going to come down a bit further there on this one. Treasury Bill is down 6%. Now the two big meme coins, Pepe is up 1%, and SHIB there is down 3%. So we'll quick look at Pepe and SHIB because those are probably going to do quite well when the 9-inch DEX comes out, although they're probably going to be front run, right? So yeah. Interesting to see whether we'll see any insider trading happen on any of these. From you can guess what I mean by inside trading. But we're currently we've got 701,000 at the moment. That is the price on Pepe, and still relatively near the bottom, but not quite. Yeah, that 9-inch should benefit from that. SHIB as well. So look at that. SHIB is currently at 1,500. Just ease back here after already having run up there. We'll see what happens with that too. So not too bad an entry. A good entry would definitely be at 1,000 in here. That's a really good entry. Another reasonable entry might be 1,300, but definitely 1,500 at the moment. So yeah, maybe down 1,300. If it drifts down there, might be a good DCA entry for the 9-inch DEX. So those sort of the highlights there. We've got anything on the percentages? Nothing that's really worth talking about. So let's move on to the average size meme coins. And of course, once again, the same things in play. Pulse Dodge up 13%, and Paul Pleb is up 4% there. Those are kind of the two highlights there as well. So look at Pulse Dodge. These are all going to have a single side staking as we understand it on the 9-inch decks there, based on Hexy Bastard's comments previously. And that is the chart there on Pulse Dodge here. So holding up pretty decently at 5,388. So over half a penny there for a Pulse Dodge. Came off the bottom though. Look at down here. It was all the way down at 1,700 a penny. So it's been still up quite a bit from the bottom there. And how much is that? That's 212% still up there at the moment. But this thing could continue to fly if 9-inch Dex comes out. That's probably what we're going to say there. Everyone is looking forward to it. I think it's probably going to do very well indeed. That being said, there's some big sacrifices in it. I suspect we're going to see some sacrifices. There are some big sacrifices, but there's also some big referrals in it. We may very well see some referral or sacrifice, large whale sacrifice wicks in there. Whether it happens in the first 24 hours or whatever, we're going to see. It's going to be pretty interesting. Now, they are trying to do a phased launch, as we understand it, that they're going to try and say that the only way you get BBC, the incentive token, which is the second token, is if you've got the 9-inch token. 9-inch token, of course, is the sacrifice token. And of course, that means it's trying to make that a lot more stickier. So, people are going to be clamoring to get the 9-inch token there. But we will see whether the referrers sell that down or not, or sacrifice any large whales, sell any pump in there. It's going to be, I don't know if that's going to save the chart, but certainly I suspect we're going to see quite a rally in the 9-inch chart. But we could see some pretty violent wicks in there as well. So it's going to be a fun time to watch that play out as well. All right, so that is pretty much it. Let's go to the, it's going to be really, really crazy is what I'm trying to say. We're going to see the Pulsechain project. Next category is category 4 that we look at. And of course, look at the best performer. These are the Pulsechain projects. So these are the stuff that really have utility. They're not just a shared narrative. Most of these projects offer something of utility. So yeah, what we see at the top here, Seed from TRH. We've got Pulse Kitten doing well, 24%, 25%. That's kind of GameFi stuff. We got NFTs. We got Pulse LN, one of the bridges to Pulsechain with the Lightning Network and BNB. Pulse LN doing up well at the moment, up 16%. Those kind of the double digits standouts. Spike Swap is up 9% today. That's at 57 cents. What else there? More Token from Trayvon is up 7% there. Now probably should have More Token on the meme list there, so I might move that one. And we got Weight Token there. I'm not sure how, I don't even remember putting that on, but we might move that to the meme one there. Weight Token there is Coast is 4.6%. That is the fiat on-ramp, off-ramp. So you can see some of the ones that are really getting valued at the moment is this bridge here, the Pulse LN bridge, and of course the weight, the fiat on-ramp, off-ramp here. It's getting priced up almost 5%, so that's good news. Hocus Pocus is up 5% there as well. Texan Token, the endowment token, up 4%. Beatrice, the privacy hub, which I think is undervalued, honestly, that's up 3% as well. Ophir there as well. So Texan Token and Ophir, both the two endowment tokens from Rag to Riches and Crypto Heartbeat, both up a couple of percent there. So that's good news. TRH from Jacob, which is associated to the Seed one up here top, is also up 2.7%. So they're kind of the leaders there. Patias, the DEX aggregator, is up 2% at the moment. What else there? Fame, the fork of GMX, which we talked about in detail yesterday, that is up 1.7%. And of course, we're waiting for the protocol to launch. And this here could be super bullish. This could be a very high-powered TVL project on Pulsechain. We already see that PHUX is over 30 million, and that's a fork of Balancer. And this is all from the same team, the PH Universe team. And of course, at the moment, yeah, 58 cents. So we're going to watch out for this. We've had certainly some volatility in it recently, but are we going to see a super pump in the Fame? We will be watching out for that. It's going to be fun to see, especially if it gets the adoption I think it's going to get in terms of margin traders and perpetual offerings, plus the liquidity pools. What else there? I think there's kind of some of the highlights there. We've got lots of other tokens in here on the list, as you can see. So we're really starting to grow, and we haven't even got most of the big protocols launched so far. In the big protocols, I would call we got lots of strong medium-sized protocols, lots of them, good ones here. But probably the biggest one, PHUX, the Fork Balancer, probably really the big one out there at the moment. We've got some other good honorable mentions in that category, like Fiat, Fork of Aave, but really PHUX is really the first big protocol to launch. And but then a lot of these other ones, we've got a lot of high quality utility projects like Matthias, for example. So that's looking pretty good. Right, so those are the Pulsechain projects, and we're kind of in that quiet spot before we get a lot of other ones launched. So it's going to be fun to see as well. Let's have a quick look at the stablecoins. The stablecoin CST, that is currently, we've got $84,000 of liquidity here suddenly, and we're actually pegged at $1. Look at that. Look at this. We're under pegged for the CST stablecoin from Coast, and now we're at peg at $1, which is beautiful. That's perfect for on-ramping. So if you want to on-ramp Fiat to Pulsechain directly, maybe on a regular basis, then Coast is really a good way of offering that. If you get 100,000 weight tokens, you can get your fees down to 1%. I know that Brian's got his referral link, and he'll probably post that in the chat there. So definitely post that in the chat there, Brian, if you got that. If people want to use Brian's link to onboard to Coast, he is the second biggest referrer after, yes, you guessed it, Crypto Coffee, which is kind of a cool, fun thing. It's been a bit of fun for us to bide the time. And yeah, well done to Brian there. So I'm sure he'll post his link there. All right, so that stablecoin at $1, that's beautiful. Look at that thing, beautiful. We're gonna we'll push that along there. That $1 line, that's the $1 line there in yellow. So doing very well is the Coast. And let's go to PX. So since I'm talking about it, let's go have a look and see how that's performing for the stablecoins. So we got this fiat-backed stablecoin CST, but we're also going to have liquid lines and PUSD pop up there, and they're going to be really important because we're going to have generate financial assets within the Pulsechain through these protocols, which is really powerful. So we're going to increase the amount of stable coins in existence, and also be able to use those for leverage to push up the asset prices of Pulsechain, which is fantastic. And then you add in the buy and burn. Isn't it glorious? You add all those things together. It's a powerful system. Of course, you can match those stable coins up together as well. And you got a continuous flow from fiat all the way onto Pulsechain and back again, which is really powerful too. So really excited about this. Yeah, we got $30 million at the moment on PX, the Fork Balancer. And of course, you guys know this is more efficient for swapping stable coins compared to, say, a Uniswap V2 technology there. So pretty cool. We've got the CST stablecoin at the moment, 2.6 million, and it's actually ranked number 4 by pool value at the moment. So that's doing really well. So we've got those. We saw how we've got this pool on Pulsex here at 84,000, but we've actually got a big liquidity pool sitting here in PHUX, and with wrapped USDC and the Coast stablecoin, and 2.6 million sitting there at the moment. And look at the yield on this thing, a really nice yield with this combination, 25% to 63% at the moment, which is really, really cool, and $50,000 in volume almost. So it's really good. So some good stuff happening there. Some interesting things happening in these pools as well. PHUX to Pulse there, some pretty bulk, 5.5 million in the pool there, and you got APR all the way up to 58% from 0.22%. We've got bridge stable coins there, USD Tether, USDC, and DAI. That's not bad as well. 5.3 million, and RH Maxi, which is a combination of all Richard Arts tokens that we love, especially Lies Beneath, who posts it every day. And of course, we got Pulsex, PX, wrapped Hex there, or Hex, I guess it's Hex bridged in, and Serum token there as well at 2.7 million. So some nice little pulls there. Now the one we've got coming up, of course, is Pareto. That's got Fame and Pulse in it, and of course, Fame, the fork of GMX, is about to launch. Covered it in full yesterday, but really not in full, but covered the margin trading side of it in particular, and a bit about the yield, and that's coming up too. So that's already got $2 million in it already in the value. So that's fantastic. Here, and 168k on the 24-hour volume there, which is pretty nice. All right, so the yield when it first kicked off the first day was like 50%. That's now down at around 6% at the moment as we speak. So not bad there as well. So some nice things happening here with these big protocols. We're going to have more big protocols, of course, with liquid lines and Power City once they start rolling out their ecosystems. So it's really going to get cool. And these things are the more sustainable protocols that can get valued up. So very excited about this and value up the chain as well. It's going to be really cool. All right. That is PX. That is the Coast stablecoin. We're going to get into the Hex Daily Stats soon, I guess. We'll wait for that to come out. Yeah, we've got Pulse out already, so we're going to talk about that. Before we do, let's catch up in the chat one more time. We're 15 minutes into the live stream, which is not doing too bad either. What else we got here? Let's jump back down here. We got up to there. We got up to Spike for sure. We got to Christian. Rex Ray's in the house says next leg up on P Dinotropic, gonna shock everybody. Lol says Ray. Archie says the news for Pulse Pot and BNB Pot is that they'll be coming out with a variety of video poker games, which represents the greatest market share of all casino games. So there we are, video poker games coming out there for BNB Pot. But Pulse Pot, of course, hasn't launched yet. But we believe that's waiting for the Fetch Oracle to launch, so that's why it's not launched yet. So a lot of the big protocols waiting for Fetch Oracle to launch, which will be our first decentralized Oracle. Probably be it's going to be great. So it's a fork of it's probably an upgrade version of Teller in some ways. So Teller Oracle, and yeah, it's going to be really bullish for that. And all the protocols need a reliable decentralized Oracle there, and you'll be able to make money, by the way, for some people as a Oracle reporter for Fetch. So that's going to be good too. Yes, they've got the Fetch token for that. That's going to have pulls for that too. What else there? Let me jump through some of that. Let's see here. We got Ray says looking forward to the 9-inch launch. Yep, absolutely. Just remember that this is a family channel, so just remember that the family channel. We try to keep it PC as much as possible. What else? We can jump through some of those comments. Hexforce 1 in the house there. Hey, stop by to say hello. Good to see Hexforce 1 and back to work. That's how you rock and roll. What else have we got going on there? Valiant says, I have some Atropa and a few others. I'm such a poor pleb, says Valiant. That's just accumulate. All right, let's get back into it. And bam, there we go. All right, so we've got Pulsechain, Hex on Pulsechain, hex.com. Check it out, folks. The results for day 1390, but this is really day, what's that, 133, is it? I think that is. Let me just double check. 133. Yeah, so day 133 results. About to start day 134. So 22nd of September, we've got 0.8 of a penny there. Up 1% on the price. Our payout today, 7.02 Hex per T-share. Amazing the last 2 days. Look at this. Bam, bam on Pulsechain. Been absolutely fantastic. The share rate, no change in that. The average mining length there, 6.96 years. The APY there, 40.67%. So 2 days in a row. Had some pretty awesome returns there on the old on Pulsechain side with Hex. If you got your T-shares, that is. The T-share pool, the ownership pool is down 5,800. We're sitting at 9,839,000 T-shares. A big shout out to Crispy Man. Crispy Man's doing a whole nice series on the different Hex charts that he's put together, and gives you a lot of insights into that. So if you haven't seen Crispy Man, definitely check out Crispy Man there. What else? Let's jump over to the lock percentage of coins. 9.53% of all Hex is locked at the moment on Pulsechain. We had pretty nice penalties again today. 8.5 million in penalties. These are people that don't keep to their responsibilities with their mining T-shares, and so they get penalized. And of course, it goes into the reward pool. The payout pool is the reward pool there. So the ownership pool is full of T-shares. That gets the share, the payout pool or the reward pool, and that's got Hex in it. 69 million today. So really nice paydays there as well. Typically, an average payday is like 65 million. So getting close to 70 million is pretty nice little bumper pay there for those who are mining with T-shares. Now, when you get T-shares, you have to burn your Hex to get T-shares, and that's why you do it. You buy Hex, you burn it for T-shares, and you get more T-shares by longer pays better and bigger pays better. And you can find out more about that in our Discord. Join in the link in the video description. We've got liquid holders up 44. That's a pretty big jump. That's pretty nice. And current miners up 5 in the old Pulsechain side. We had 124,149 miners on Pulsechain side. Not bad at all. I'm not sure. Yeah, we haven't got the Hex on Ethereum out yet. That's probably going to come up a bit later. But day 1390, we're waiting for that. So that's pretty much it. We're on day 1391 on Hex on Ethereum, and day 134 is about to start on Pulsechain. We're slowly ticking away there. Hex.com, folks. Check it out as well. And if you've got any questions, jump into our Discord. Links in the video description. And we've got a crypto helpline. Yes, we do. And we've got people, amazing people that have huge knowledge around Hex, and of course can help you out with that too. Or Pulsechain if you want to talk about Pulsechain. And I'm thinking of people like Brian and others are amazing. Jenny, there are really some cool people in there that can help you out. Archie, many others. So jump in there on that one. If you've got any questions about Icosa Hedron, we've got Wookie in there. He's a bit of our specialist on Icosa Hedron. So we've got our leadership team and our community leadership team in the Discord is amazing. And we've got all the information to all the sites as well, all the on-ramp, off-ramps. We've got all the lists. We've got a whole big list there. You can get into it if you want a place to be able to find everything and share your thoughts. Get into our Discord, links in the video description. And of course, Brian has posted it there in the chat. So let's post that there on the screen. There it is. Join Discord here. And of course, that is the bit.ly short there that'll take you to the display so you can join up. Let us see what else is going on here. We've got a couple more comments. So let's go through that. Bam. So we wrap up. We're 56 minutes on the hour. We're doing pretty well today. That's the quiet before the storm again, between the big projects coming. What else there? Ray says, wonder what the better buy would be, EHEX or PHEX on the Pulsechain. Got me thinking. Yeah, well, it's I think there's an obvious one there, but check it out. Check it out. Butch has announced there, Superman, what's the best month of the year to end a stake on? Says Butch. I'm not exactly sure what that would be, actually. I'm thinking probably January might be quite good, Butch. Like early January, something like that. That's my guess. Is probably any holiday period, probably quite good there, Butch. But Pulse, it depends on which chain on Ethereum you're talking about. That's the issue. On Pulsechain, it's pretty much any time, any month. But on Ethereum, maybe, yeah, you could check that out. There is, of course, the mint ladder. We haven't looked at that for a while, but you could check that out. Have I got that up here? Let me just have a look on the Hex charts here. It's on Hex charts. I haven't actually looked at it for a while, so you're asking a good question. I used to talk about it every day, but we get a bit too many charts, so it starts to get a bit much there as well. So this is the future look. This is what you're talking about, I guess. I'm not sure if you're talking about gas prices there. So if you're talking about gas prices, then obviously holiday periods, weekends is a good place to end stake. If you're talking about when is all the Hex coming out, that's a different question again. Then you're probably talking about any time there's a big gap in here. See the big gaps between these big tall towers. Now, generally speaking, of course, we've got a lot of mints coming out here in 2030. Obviously, they've got those first 10-year mints coming out. So that's probably you want to to any time when there's a gap here. How about that? Is that pretty easy? Anytime there's a gap, do you want to post this chart there? It's down there at the bottom. In fact, it is the last chart at the bottom there. You can see expiring stakes. So hopefully that helps. So I think I've answered the gas question and the when the Hex are coming out. How about that? Not bad. So that is the link to that chart at the bottom there. Now there's another site you can get this chart as well, but that's basically it. And you can you can shuffle this chart around with the plus and minuses and things like that. But we've got gaps in 25, 26 in here. Look at them, there's heaps of them, heaps of gaps. So whatever this gap, you can find a good place. And obviously, if you want low gas, then the weekends and maybe around holiday periods like the end of the year, New Year or something like that, wherever you can find a good combination of low gas and low mints. That's where you want to come out. And of course, you could think about maybe when you think the market might pump as well. You want them coming out when you think the market might pump. So I know a lot of people have been talking about 24, 25, something like that. So we'll see. All right. Depends on the cycle. Yes, so Brian's talking about the cycle there. I guess we're talking about which cycle though, right? Price cycle or staking cycle. So I kind of covered all those. Brian says, well, a better question would be what year it is best to end stake. Yeah. Well, I think you can see from the chart, anywhere in here is kind of good. Anywhere in there is pretty good to do that. It's also longer pays better, right? So you get 10%. Yeah, so you get up to 20% per year. Longer pays better, and so you add that benefit for getting more T-shares. That's very important too. Of course, you can have multiple mining CDs, so you can have a bit of a what we call a mining ladder. Ray says, I enjoy keeping my Hex liquid. Yeah, that's always an option as well. Brian says, I always enjoy having my Hex work for me while staked. Absolutely. Let's see what else there. Liquidity pools have been very good, especially around Hex, the Hex combination liquidity pools. Very good yield on those. So that's a good point to make. All right, I think that's it. An hour and one. How about that? Not bad. We covered a lot of stuff there. I hope you guys are having a good time at the moment. Dollar cost averaging, still early days. And of course, a lot of cool stuff to come up. We've got so many projects. What's it, 180 projects, something like that. So really excited to see that. If you haven't checked out my video, I posted yesterday, 2 days ago actually, on the Pulsechain ecosystem. Check that out because it's a bit of fun as well. One of the charts from Power City has been updated though. Now has, I think it had 160 projects on there. It's now got 180, I think it is. So definitely worth checking out if you want to find out more about what projects are around launching on Pulsechain. Whew. All right, let's finish off with a cool video, shall we? Shall we do that? I think so. Let's end up with some excitement. Let's do that. Let's do the highest of stakes. I think let's play some of that. All right, take care, everybody. Don't forget subscribe, like, share, hit the bell, join the Discord, get in there, folks, and say hello. It's all about you guys, the community, and I'll guys catch you all again tomorrow, which will be Sunday in New Zealand, which is fantastic. All right, take care. Bye for now.
Here welcoming you to the highest of stakes premiere. I really hope that you guys are going to enjoy it. These guys put blood, sweat, and tears for years into this project. Wasn't my idea. Didn't have anything to do with the production. Didn't have anything to do with anything. I was just in a bunch of scenes. Yay. I'm a movie star. No, I'm a clown. The me that you see in this film died, so enjoy it. Humble me is what exists now. What I wished that everyone would get is that there's only a few things in this world that can really change man's relationship with government, man's relationship with money, man's relationship with his time. Right now, we've got the highest inflation we've had since I've been alive, and that's 43 years now. I'm not a spring chicken anymore. And we've got banks collapsing, and we've got bailouts, and all of the things that people predicted would come true that are the reason that cryptocurrency was invented are happening. You know, there's certain countries that you may not have been to that this is life or death for them. You know, high inflation countries where their money is worth, you know, half as much at the end of the next year as it is this year. You got to get your money out of those currencies. And the dollar is not one of those currencies yet. But historically, about every 50 years, fiat currencies fail. Like it's very hard to have a fiat currency backed by nothing that lasts longer than 50 years, it seems. And, dollar's been around for a while. So I hope you guys enjoyed the movie. You know, I feel that it's wildly important for you to understand that the future really is digital. It really is cryptocurrency. And if you can get around the gatekeepers, if you can get the word out, if you can get people to learn about something that could really change the future, everyone gets rich together. When you get rid of all the middlemen and you get rid of all the waste and you get rid of all the inefficiency, that value, it goes somewhere, and it goes to the people that deserve it, the people that believed. Enjoy the film, everybody.
Heart. Genius.
Legendary.
Arrogant. Bit of a narcissist. The benevolent king.
$250,000. Hate me. I'm farther than you'll ever be in your whole life. Whatever the governments have been doing, it's not worked out. You've never had worse interest rates. Your money has never been worth less. And the only thing that's making it better is cryptocurrency.
Crypto is money without governments, and it is money without banks.
You're not going to meet another product like this as long as you live. Yes, every scammer in the world is going to tell you something similar.
Good morning, everyone. Are you ready to look for some fraud this morning?
They are promising 40% annual return.
Everything I have worked for is staked in Hex.
Good. I put it all in.
All what?
All of our house money.
No, I don't think that it's a scam. Because I trust Richard Hart.
If ultimately this is all a big performance art project, people are gonna get fucked.
So that
You're
means
lucky it works at all.
I should trust you.
Listen, I think you should trust me, but if you get into the habit of trusting people like me, you'll get the crap scammed out of you.